This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Good Tuesday morning to you. It is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course Sirius XM channel 158. It's Gil Alexander. It's my little buddy Kelly Billin.
Hey man, how we doing?
Hey, what's happening?
Not much.
I'm great.
Don't worry, I'm going to try not to make you turn this way too often today.
No, it's not the turn them. Here's what happened, boys and girls. Just us, right? Just us talking. Perfectly fine this morning. Get out of bed, take a shower, right? Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Normal morning. Get in my car, drive into work. Everything's fine. As soon as I get out of my car, my lower back seized on me. This has never happened to me before in my life. Every step down here from the parking lot was like I was 100,000 years old.
Oh, my God, man. It's the worst. It's the worst.
I am in. I'm playing hurt, boys and girls. Playing this one hurt.
I want to say you'll be fine, but
I don't know.
3 hours from now, I bet you it's not going to feel much better.
Yeah, can I do the show standing? Is that allowed?
Yeah, we might have to.
It is baseball nirvana today.
Yeah.
Baseball nirvana, the beginning of the postseason wild card round. Best of 3 game ones all throughout the day, strewn across the day, beginning right after we get off the air, a little more than 3 hours from now. 10:07 Pacific, 1:07 p.m. Eastern for the Guardians and the Tigers. That best of 3 starts the day off, and of course it concludes with the Reds and Dodgers late tonight, with Yankees, Red Sox, and Cubs, Padres in between. Not in that order, actually. Cubs, Padres first, then Yankees, Red Sox. We will have Mark Borchard talking about it on the show today, all of his bets. Paul Sporer a little later on as well.
Yes, sir.
On the show to give us his thoughts. Mark more analytical, Paul more of just the baseball fantasy and fan standpoint on these things. We will also have Drew Dinsick, of course, in his normal Tuesday spot to talk National Football League with us. I may even have a tennis bet here coming up that has not started yet. We have the rare Asian swing tennis match that is yet to go. I had 3 plays last night. First one was a winner, sweating out one now, and there's one still to go, which is the big dog of them. We'll get to that. And then our Jeff Erickson from RotoWire talking fantasy with us and what he's looking at the NFL this week. And we'll do our NFL power rankings. My goodness, how did yours go?
I have enjoyed this process so much this entire year.
Oh, my God.
Because there have been pretty major changes.
I finally had to throw the priors out the window.
Yeah.
By and large. Not completely, but...
We're getting to that point in the season. You start adjusting, right? You start adjusting.
Absolutely.
I think I echo exactly what you were just saying. It's some changes were violent.
Yes.
Where I changed teams.
Yes.
And some I still need to learn a little bit more about. Some of them might have been slight.
Can I get a masseuse in here? Is that possible? Can we do the masseuse while we're on the air?
Probably won't around. That would be one of the more entertaining things I've asked in a casino.
If only we did this show from a casino. In my
why it's got you there?
Why it's like I got you. Like Kelly has Giannis's Cavs during a Bucks game.
That's right. Me and Wider have a break. The NBA season hasn't started yet, so Giannis doesn't need our attention.
We also have our most popular YouTube segment of the week,
Mm-hmm.
Survivor, week number 5. Our Survivor segment of the big favorites, which is the group from which I will not be playing any survivors in my 6 entries in Circus Survivor, and which is the group from which I will be playing my Circus Survivor entries. We will get into that coming up. Well, let's do that later, sort of later this hour. We'll do it. We won't wait too long to do that. We have to start with the doubleheader in Monday Night Football last night, which, and we won't really belabor this beyond this segment, but we do want to address it, which is, a whole bunch of nothing. But I want to say something about this first game more than anything. Well, first of all, let's do the second game first, which is the Bengals and the Broncos. You didn't miss anything if you missed this ball game. Bengals just looked dreadful. Broncos sort of could have named their score in this. The score they named was 28-3. This was never in doubt. The only thing I want to note is it started out with Cincinnati with the ball, 4th and 2 at the Denver 8. 4th and 2 at the Denver 8. And Zach Taylor said, go ahead, kick the 26-yard field goal. Right before that decision was the peak of this game for the Bengals. Right after that decision began the sort of diminuendo through the rest of the game. 3-0, they got that field goal, but that was that. It was over. Denver from there on out, 28-6 in a game where Nix was 29 of 42 for 326. Dobbins 16 carries for 101. The Bengals were outgained by the Broncos 5-12 to 159, a 37-58 to 22-02 time of possession advantage, 29-9 in first downs, if you will, and then Cincinnati held to 2 of 11 on third. Any takeaways beyond what you already think you know about these games?
No, I think it's great. Look, this was kind of a snooze fest game, but I think this is a perfect example game, Gil, of okay, let's be careful with overreactions, but at the same time, you needed to see this from Denver at some point to believe this was a team. I mean, we really hadn't seen this the first few weeks of what I believed this team was going to be heading into the season. So to see them at home at least take care of business, no problems really in this game with this Bengals team, that was nice to see. I'm not going to jump ahead and say, hey, Denver's best team in the AFC West or anything. I think we got to be careful with that.
So that's what you're getting at there is my takeaway, which is the old Marco D'Angelo. No team is as good as they look one week or as bad as they look one week. I don't think the Bengals are this bad. I don't think.
See, that's the one I was going to get to. Yeah, Browning. This might not be the answer.
I don't think the Broncos are this good, but congratulations to all the survivors who had the Broncos. I had my 6th entry on them as well. So, by the way, the survivor update is now this is official after week 4 of Circa Survivor. It is a record low 33.73% eliminated. We've never had less than 42.82% back in the second year of it in 2021 through 4 weeks. So it's a record low. Please don't use the word carnage. Carnage has not happened. I think Survivor begins this week. I did want to talk about the first game, though, because, Kelly, how many times have I ever come on air, and all the times you've known me, or maybe in the 6.5 years before you were on a numbers game, where I ever came on and said, boy, the refs really determined the outcome of a football game.
Once or twice, maybe, but not often. It is not a often thing.
I'm going to go ahead and make a statement here. I don't know who would have won this game. By the way, Dolphins beat the Jets and cover 27-21. Dolphins get off the schneid for their first win of the year. But I would be hard-pressed to name a National Football League game or any game in any sport in any league where I felt the officiating was more blatantly lopsided than this game. I feel even dirty coming on air and sounding like one of these conspiracy theorists on Twitter saying this, but this game was just... can I give you just 6 examples off the top of the dome?
Yeah.
Not 1, not 5. How about 6 examples? Chop Robinson in the first half, I think it was 10-0 Dolphins at this point. 10-0 Dolphins at this point. Or it was the drive that led to 10-0. It was the drive where Fields ultimately fumbled the football on 4th down and Jalen Phillips recovered it. But Chop Robinson, at least a yard offside. If 2 feet to 3 feet offside, let's say. Uncalled. In the group chat, I immediately go, is that not offside? Falika responded, it looked like it to me.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the first sort of blatant one where I'm like, how does that go uncalled? Okay, that was kind of innocuous, though, but it was just one thing. Second half, all right, Tua with a late slide. Let me get the chronology of this correct, just to give the context. So at this point, it's 10-3. The Jets, they fumbled the opening kickoff. Isaiah Williams was a disaster last night. That led to a Dolphins touchdown, 17-3. And on that drive, by the way, was the drive where, again, a Pyrrhic victory for the Dolphins because they lose Tyreek Hill with a gruesome leg injury. So although the Dolphins win, that ain't a fun thing, and that was just awful for Tyreek. And really, who knows what that means for the rest of his career, quite frankly. But anyway,
news on that this morning. It is dislocated knee and multiple ligaments, including his ACL.
That's about as brutal as gruesome an injury as you'll see. So 17-3 at this point. I don't mean to sort of gloss over that because that was an awful part of the game. But 17-10 after Fields makes a very Justin Fields play where it looks like he's hemmed in on the right side, then he flashes back to the left and goes 43 yards to the house. So 17-10, we're in the third quarter, and the Dolphins have a 3rd and 8 at the Jets' 40. Tua goes for 5. Now, his slide was late. He has this late slide, and he gets hit by Isaiah Oliver. Flags thrown from everywhere. The announcing crew is all, that's absolutely a late hit. No, it's a Patrick Mahomes-esque really late slide for which he got tapped, and they threw flags because, hey, maybe Tua's history suggests you ought to throw the flags there because you're scared about it. But that was also one of these where the announcers and the officials completely overreacted to what actually happened on the field.
Yeah, but from the angle we had on TV, it somehow looked worse than it was. When they go to the replay and you see that whatever defender it was just with the tap on the back of the helmet. Right. It's whatever, though. Contact to the head the slide. We've seen it a bunch.
I'm only 2 of 6 in. Don't break my flow here. 24-10. 24-10. Now we'll move forward. This is now a 24-13 game after a Folk 50-yard field goal. By the way, there was a drive early where I don't know why the Jets didn't try to kick a field goal in the first half.
Yeah, it was weird.
So then the Jets punt subsequently. It's 24-13 game. They punt, but there's not after a hold though. There's a holding play called during the drive where they end up punting. But on the same play, New York Jets center Josh Myers has his head almost ripped off. The helmet goes off, no call, right? Completely blatant, not called. And then later, the Jets matriculate from their own 39, 1st and 10, the Miami 35 with 2:10 left, fields to Ruckert right at the 2-minute warning. A late hit call that was so obvious, right? 2 beats after the play was over, uncalled. What I failed to mention, there are 2 plays in between. There was a Fields play where he got tackled by Judon late, right, out of bounds, at least a few steps out of bounds, uncalled. And then Garrett Wilson had a touchdown nullified on a drive where they called the most ticky-tack OPI you will ever see in your entire life.
Yeah.
6. Those are 6 plays that either went against the Dolphins or were uncalled. I've never seen a game. By the way, 2 bad teams will never remember this game. It's no big deal. This game will not be in the annals of NFL history, but somebody needs to say something about what that was last night. That was insane.
I mean, without the turnovers and the penalties, who knows what this game
is? And some of those are undebatable of the 6 I just mentioned. Most of them are. Coming back, baseball, next on A Numbers Game.
If you're serious about football betting, VSiN's got your weekend game plan. Fridays at 7 p.m., it's the Circa Friday Football Invitational. Saturday morning, VSiN's college football tailgate show at 9 a.m., breaking down matchups, props, and big-time bets. Later that night, join the football contest show as the sharpest betting minds give you their picks for Sunday's game. And Sunday at 9 a.m., lock in with Mitch and Pauly on VSiN's Pro Football Tailgate Show. Your final stop before kickoff. Check out the full lineup at VSiN.com and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
So, Pauly, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah, came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole 9, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's late night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
Coming up on the next edition of Follow the Money, the MLB postseason is here. Games on while we're on live. Matt Vasgersian to give out props and what he likes. Paul Stone, best bets college football. Derek Stevens to talk contest. And the tip jar is open as well. Send your picks in. Follow the Money 4 to 7 Eastern on VSiN. The Sports Betting Network, now Sirius XM Channel 158. Check out the website for all the betting tools and analysis, or get the VSiN Watch app.
Numbers Game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Want to bet smarter? Start with Smarter Insights. Right now you can check out all 4 Wild Card Series previews from Adam Burke. Adam Burke, Guardians fan, likes the Tigers in the series. Greg Peterson's Game 1 MLB picks, Dave Tooley's MLB playoff takes, and later today, you can check out Wes Reynolds' Sanderson Farms preview. Kelly, you got a Sanderson's Farm preview for us later this week? No.
Maybe.
Maybe. Lou Finicaro.
I have time.
UFC 320 predictions and Tyler Shoemaker's early week NFL picks. Right now, you can sign up for as little as $9.99 to access all the VSiN Pro articles. Just head to VSiN.com/subscribe to sign up today. We get tweets at Beatty the Book. Y'all the best all the time. This is from... Let's see where we start this morning. Oh, let's go with, this is actually from last night. This is from CW Blue Jay, who says, Guardians playing the 1 p.m. Eastern. This is so true. Guardians playing the 1 p.m. Eastern time slot at home for the playoffs is the MLB version of the Houston Texans Saturday wild card round start time. Every year it's the same. You can set your watch to it.
As soon as you started reading that tweet, I was like, I wonder if this is going where I think it's going. And yep, sure is.
Sure is. This is from Tenelach. Down under in Australia. Geez, it's hard for an Aussie to get value. Rams -5.5 by the time I listen. Still a play with Purdy toe injury and others, I reckon. Stoked to get KC -3 now. Got me some early Gilly action. Great episode again, mate. Thank you, Tenelach. Appreciate that. Yeah, I the very beginning of the show yesterday on Guessing Lines, I said Rams were only 3.5. I couldn't believe that. I grabbed the Rams. And by the end of the show, it was 4.5. By the time we got home, it was 5.5.
Yeah. I mean, it was just a slow news updates left and right from the Niners of more guys possibly not playing.
But when did we find out about Purdy? Not till later.
It was after you had done.
Yeah, way later.
It was towards the end of the show, something like that.
This is from Eric Pinnell. Morning, fellas. I hold in my pocket a Mercury and Fever final ticket in my... Mercury and Fever final tickets in my pocket. Not sure if you'll cover the WNBA today, but feeling go Fever tonight. I'm not sure if that means you have them to meet in the finals, for one of them to win the finals. But yes, Eric, we will. By the way, hashtag HTTR, he says. Thank you very much, Eric. We will have Tyler Shoemaker on later on the show to talk WNBA with us. So
what numbers did you get those at?
Yes.
Just out of interest.
I'd love to know.
We have been going nuts about, man, if you actually bet these teams, we didn't think they were going to be here at all, but man, you can have some long numbers.
Could the Caitlin Clark-less Fever win the WNBA title? Tim Bowers is a Tigers fan. Here's my emotional hedge. Yes, hedge twice. They beat Scoobel Game 5 last year and own them in season series this year. Gavin Williams is a bad matchup for them. Been on the road for 9 days already, and every Tigers fan knows Quan will be an absolute pest. That's an emotional hedge, he said. So I think he was going one way, and then he came back. The numbers, guys. Regarding the Jets game, I went through all the feelings. First it was, this is the worst coach team ever, between the penalties and turnovers. Then it was, maybe it's not Aaron Glenn's fault, bad officiating. Finally, I'm screaming, who's announcing this crap? Kevin Ryan, Gil, to echo your stance on the Flag Fest in Miami, it shows the discrepancy between Buck and Aikman and the junior varsity that always calls the second ESPN game. Troy Aikman would have been ripping into the officials the entire night, which he did, by the way, in the Bengals game. He finally had it with the
dude. It is.
He was like, "Yeah, that might be a good call, but it's like completely unnecessary."
I don't know how you felt. I completely understand that tweet. I actually like listening to Orlovsky a fair amount.
I do too.
I get where you're coming from with that tweet. I don't know if I thought that was the finest performance for Buck and Aikman last night. It was like right out of the gates they were like both commenting about, like, I just felt like they didn't want to be there. It was like, it was a weird tone heading into the game.
It was a tough, I mean, from just a viewing standpoint, a fan viewing standpoint, because the Broncos game got so out of hand and was not competitive, it was easy for your mind to drift. Like, I actually ended up watching more of the Dolphins-Jets.
Me too.
And I didn't go into the night thinking I would. And then that Bengals-Broncos game, Will Hill said this in the group chat. Is like, we didn't need the last quarter and a half of that game.
See, this is why I love the stagger starts, though, right? Like those were not games we thought that were going to be great heading into it, and then you got the options of going back and forth when one game was sucking. But you're right. Once the Jets and Dolphins was over, it was. I mean, I fell asleep on the couch for a bit. I'll tell you that much.
Am I off base with what I was saying? My premise on this Dolphins Jets game, not my premise, but my reaction to it. I named 6 plays.
No. You're
all
fine.
Of which went against the Jets. That was bizarro.
I mean, you caught more than I did, but there's a few of those that jumped out, I mean, immediately. I mean, like the Wilson OPI one. That's always one I'll bring up, Gil, where I'm like, if you want to call that, that's fine. But what do we always ask? Just make it consistent, right? There was nothing consistent about that.
So, and the people who would want to push back, okay, I guess you could push back on the Wilson OPI. Not really, but okay, let's give you that one. Justin Fields getting hit by Judon out of bounds or being ridden out of bounds. All right, if you want to argue with that,
another example of that's never consistent.
The Tua late slide, sure. If you want to argue with that, you can. But those other three are undebatable. The helmet being ripped off, the offsides on Chop, and the biggest one of all was the now I'm forgetting. The biggest one of all was the Jeremy Ruckert hit late by Matthew Butler with the 2-minute warning. 1,000 out of 1,000 times that gets called. Was every official looking away at that point? Not that it mattered to the outcome ultimately at that point, but it was just amazing. Anyway, before we get to our baseball guest, I wanted to just give my 2 cents on some of these. If we could. We'll do these in...
games or series? Or just both?
Well, I'll kind of comment on the series, but they'll touch on the games as well. So these are all best of threes. And we've talked about that, how best of threes go. Billy Beane famously said with his Oakland Athletics, my blank doesn't work in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, he can use Moneyball for 162 games, and the Moneyball principles will manifest to get the A's a successful season. But once you get to these best of threes, best of five, best of sevens, it all goes out the window because small sample sizes, things happen. So Tigers and Guardians best of three. I said this yesterday. I'm on the Tigers minus 119 as my number. That's what I got in the best of three, and it's a very simple handicap. It's Tarek Skubal. In game one today. He's a minus 158 favorite. And as long as you have one ace, then the bet goes to that team. It's a very simple handicap. Now, could Tarek Skubal win game one today? And then the Guardians do Guardians things to win games 2 and 3? Sure, could. But I will always take the team at a fair price, at a price like that has the one ace above and beyond. And Tarek Skubal is that in that series.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I bet the Tigers series yesterday. I thought, between you and Adam, I thought that was a solid breakdown, especially Adam with the pricing differentials.
Can we just appreciate the Guardians again? I know I can't stand them because they crushed me on bets. Again, season win total under, alt-season win total under last year, not becoming 1 out shy of a 65-1 in March, April. But they, again, erased a 15.5 game deficit. Never been done before. And keep in mind that they lost Clase and Ortiz to the gambling stuff. At the trade deadline, they were like a hair away from trading Stephen Kwan. And that didn't happen.
I wonder if those guys cashed any tickets. Maybe they had long division bets.
Maybe they got a great price on their team. I don't know. We'll go to the other AL series. We won't do these chronologically, but the other AL series, Red Sox, Yankees. I've been higher on the Yankees this whole time. By the way, Fried a minus 130 favorite today over Crochet. I've probably been higher on the Yankees than most. I thought the Yankees were going to win the division and get the number 1 seed. They fell just short as they lose the tiebreaker to the Blue Jays, even though they caught them. I think the Yankees sweep this series 2-0.
Really?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
I was going to ask you if this was one that jumped out to me a little bit, just with Crochet on the mound tonight, getting their near plus 120 out there on the Red Sox.
Yeah, I just feel like the Yankees ultimately will prove the thesis right, that they are a better team. By the way, the thing that people usually cite as the Yankees' weakness is the bullpen, and I don't see it that way.
Okay.
I think that bullpen is filled with former closers where the stage won't be too big for them. And I think Devin Williams' poor performance colored a lot of what that bullpen actually is. So that's I think the Yankees sweep that. But I don't have a bet on the Yankees series price. I think that's a fair price. I do have a bet on this Padres-Cubs series. I'm on the Padres in the series. By the way, Padres plus 110 dogs today at Wrigley in a matchup between Pivetta and Boyd. And my basis for taking the Padres here is I think Nick Pivetta is the best pitcher in this series, the best starting pitcher in this series, because Cade Horton is done. Cade Horton with the rib injury this weekend, he's on the IL. So he's done for this series. This is, to me, advantage Padres. Because of that, I think that puts them over the top. And who's the most impactful pitcher in this series past Pivetta, in my opinion? The Padres bullpen, and specifically Mason Miller. So that's how I view that series. So I have bets on the Tiger series and the Padres series. I got the Padres at minus 105 for the series. So not the best price, but still on them. And then Reds-Dodgers, I mean, what is there to say here? The Dodgers going with Snell in Game 1, Yamamoto Game 2, Shohei Game 3 if necessary. I just don't know how the Reds out-hit this Dodgers team that can out-take some of their guys in the rotation and put them in the pen. So to me, that is properly priced. No play on that one either. No play on that one. No play on the Red Sox, Yankees. But again, bets on the Tigers and the Padres for the series. You're on the Tigers, you said?
Tigers, and then I did also follow Adam Burke's advice and grabbed a 5-1 on the Dodgers because Kelly likes rooting for the powerhouses that he knows the players, Gil.
So I will say, Hunter Green, more than a puncher's chance today for the Reds. There is that. It's not going to be a cakewalk for the Dodgers today by any means.
You don't have a Yankees bet, right? Because
Nope.
I'm rooting against them now.
Nope. Only other thing I have is, again, that ticket I have on the Tigers and Padres to meet in the World Series at 66-1. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I don't have much faith in the Tigers after this series, though. Coming back, Mark Borchard on baseball.
There's no better time to join VSiN Pro. Right now, get started for just $9.99 for your first 30 days or save 50% off with an annual subscription. As a Pro user, you'll get our newly updated NFL betting guide as well as the college football betting guide, the ultimate playbook packed with expert picks, team previews, and best bets. Plus, you'll unlock exclusive features like real-time betting splits, daily best bets, and full access to the VSiN Watch app. Don't miss out. Head to VSiN.com/subscribe and join us on the Sports Betting Network. Get your edge this season with VSiN's College Football Betting Guide, exclusive to VSiN Pro subscribers. It's packed with 136 team previews, preseason top 25 rankings, and best bets from our experts. Pro subscribers also get the NFL Betting Guide, daily best bet emails, exclusive splits, and full access to our premium betting tools. Sign up now at VSiN.com/subscribe for just $9.99 for your first 30 days. Or save 50% with an annual Pro subscription and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Numbers Game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
The season may have started, but you can still jump into the VSiN Average Joe contest sponsored by Edge Boost. Each week you make 7 picks, NFL or college, and the best score of the week wins $500. Have an Edge Boost account already, then it's $1,000 every week. And if that's not enough, there are quarterly prizes too, airfare to Las Vegas, and a free 2-night stay at Circa Resort. And your chance to be on a VSiN show. Is it a VSiN show of your choosing? I don't know. We still got to get clarification on that. Free to play, and you can enter anytime at VSiN.com/Joe. We get tweets beating the book. This is from, let's see, Andrew. Andrew at Fix My Chip Game says, do I need to start playing Jake Ferguson over Brock Bowers in fantasy? Gino doesn't look great. We'll ask that of Jeff Erickson a little later on.
I think I would. That's an interesting one to me. Because you keep in mind, Brock Bowers is still banged up with that knee. It's clearly not the same right now.
And you would figure over the long term, without CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson would get target after target. Matt Trudell, 5-star Realty. Kelly, I wonder if they cashed any tickets. LOL, he's quoting you. About
I shouldn't joke about this stuff, but whatever.
That's right, about Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz. Guessing lines with you guys. I was guessing lines with you guys and got my teaser bets in with using the Lions, figuring the Bengals got blown out. That if the Bengals got blown out, that line would jump. And that's in fact what happened. Good luck today, fellas. Are the Lions up to a 10-point road favorite?
Yeah, so that is part of the reason why I bet it yesterday as well. I was not expecting this to shoot out to 10.5 where it's at now. There are 10.5s out there.
Matthew Mayberry took shots on Jackson Merrill, 90-1, World Series MVP and 100-1 playoffs home run leader. Wow, it's big numbers. And Skylar Mays, nothing better than driving to Cleveland for the week to watch my Tigers and listening to ANG. Thanks again for the time when I was in Vegas last month. Skylar, drive safely.
Yeah, man.
Let's talk some baseball. What a day. Baseball nirvana. Is this the best baseball day, or is it next week when the best of 5 start? I'll go with today. I'm as excited as could be. Mark Borchard, I know, is as well. You can follow him at BaseWinner, basewinner.com, and, of course, his Bet US Baseball show, which you can link to from his Twitter, probably most easily. Courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line, it's Mark Borchard from an undisclosed location, somewhere in the desert. How you doing, Mark?
Gil, I'm doing really good. I think for me, this is the most exciting day because I think that the underdogs have a real chance in these 3-game series. And I think that there's some value with one of the teams in particular. But I think for me, I just wanted to point this out because it's pretty interesting. This is Compliments of Killer Sports by Carl Sack, who we all love on the show. So they redid the playoffs in 2022 to the format that we know now. And since then, underdogs just in general are 57-54 straight up, Gil, at odds of plus 125 average odds, 14.8% ROI, just blindly betting on underdogs. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Individual dogs in games of the best of 3s, you're saying. That's what that is.
Yes.
Okay.
This is just in general for the playoffs.
Oh, for the whole postseason.
Whole postseason since they changed the format in 2022, and I thought that was interesting. I mean, there's 111 games, so I mean, you can take that with a grain of salt, or you can say, hey, that's predictive. I think that for me, if you model it right and you're showing value on the dogs, I think that's kind of the way to go here.
Yeah.
And you say, and you've talked about this for years on your show, that the probability of like having the true champion is 50, got to play 51 series or something like that. And so there is some validity to that, Gil.
Yeah, this is what Mark is referring to is a stat that I quote by Stats by Lopez. Now, this stat was from years ago. I don't know if it's updated, if it would be the same. But essentially what he was saying was that baseball is the most random of them all. So in the NBA in the postseason, 80% of favorites get through to the next round. Not talking about individual games, just the series themselves. And then in hockey, in order for 80% of the favorites to get through, to manifest, you'd have to play best of 51 series, not best of 7s. You'd have to play best of 51 for the better talent to actually manifest that 80% rate through. In baseball, you'd have to play best of 75s for that to happen. That was his old stat. Which I always think is a nice contextualizing stat of how random these sports are that we're betting into. Let's do these one by one. Let's talk game 1 in series. Chronologically today, Tigers-Guardians. Guardians' historical comeback, 15.5 game deficit. They win the division, but they get to play the Tigers, who they overcame in a best of three. Guardians' problem is, though, that Tarek Skubal is involved still. He goes game one, and as I said yesterday, as long as he's not long snapping the ball over the first baseman's head, having a balk and a wild pitch and a hit by pitch in one inning, maybe he'll be okay. Tigers are minus 115 for the series. They're minus 158 today. How are you playing this?
I think that this one's priced about right both ways. I've got the game today at minus 164. I've got the series right about a pick 'em. I think that I modeled it a couple different ways. One saying 55% Detroit, the other saying 51% Detroit. So either way, I don't think there's much value on the series on that. But today, I think if you want to get involved, and maybe you do because it's the first game and it'd be fun to bet, and this would be a fun bet to bet the over. I've got 7.3 runs projected. I think there's some concerns for me, at least by my ratings, with that Tiger bullpen. They're 18th by the base winner ratings, Gil.
Okay, and people should know the total in this game is at 6, which, remember, back in the day, you and I, Mark, when we were watching, say, a Lincecum Hamels playoff series, right? They wouldn't bring it below 6.5 at, like, the rarest, right? Like, it just wouldn't happen. Now they'll allow for a 6 here in this one. So you like the over in game one today at Progressive Field. And remember, everybody, with these games, if it goes to a third game, it's still in the higher-seeded ballpark. So all 3 games in Cleveland, all 3 games in the Bronx, all 3 games in Wrigley, all 3 games at Chavez Ravine. All right, second game today, Cubs-Padres. By the way, I'm on the Tigers for the series. I'm on the Padres for the series. Those are my only 2 bets. Cubs are minus 122 today. They're a slight series favorite as well. It is Pivetta against Boyd. How do you see game one and the series?
Yeah, this is a tough series for me, Gil. This game today is priced right about where it needs to be, minus 105, 7.3 total for me. I modeled it a couple different ways, and it's actually showing one of the modeling is showing value on the Cubs, and one is showing probably slight value on the Padres. So for me, it's just kind of a stay away, see what happens.
Okay, Yankees Red Sox. Networks couldn't have asked for more than this. The oldest rivalry, the best rivalry in all of sports, some would say. Yankees minus 130, Fried against Crochet. This is the best ace versus ace matchup today. Yankees minus 130, game one. They are a prohibitive minus 180 favorite thereabouts. Always shop around for the best of 3 series.
Yeah, I think that today you go with Boston. I don't think you bet against Crochet. I mean, he's my base winner number 1. I put it out on the card, Boston plus 124. I don't know where it is right now. I also used him in a plus 1.5 parlay with the next team that we're going to talk about. So I think for the series you stay away, actually showing no value either way on the series. I think that's priced correctly.
But one parlay leg, you're taking the Red Sox plus 1.5 here. By the way, brief aside, do you have Crochet as the AL Cy Young or Skubal?
I don't. I think that for me it would be Crochet based on his numbers, but I mean, who knows about that damn thing? I mean, people vote weird in that thing, Gil. For me,
they do vote weird.
I mean, they really like I think Strider should have got it over Snell when Snell had a walk percentage of 30% or whatever it was.
By the way, we'll never live that down. The most ridiculous thing ever. But Strider did implode late in the season, and Snell never did in the end. Right, his advanced stats somehow held up. The water never splashed through the towel in the end. Last one, the Dodgers and the Reds. Dodgers obviously a huge favorite in the series. It's Hunter Green, though, in game one. So as I was saying earlier, puncher's chance for the Reds for sure. It is Snell, the aforementioned Blake Snell, for the Dodgers here, minus 190 in game one.
Yeah, it's a base winner number 6 versus the base winner number 2. Number 6 is Green, but he's got probably better stuff numbers than Snell does. 99 percentile and stuff, 99 percentile pitching plus. I think for me, I'm going to go with the Reds plus 1.5. I think it's going to be kind of a tighter game. You can get plus 1.5. I got it last night, minus 130. Put that one in the parlay. Boston plus 1.5, Cincy plus 1.5. And that pays plus 166. So I think that those are probably the 2 series that the 2 games I'm going to play today. For the series, I think the Reds have some value in that. I modeled it both ways, not much. I think they should be like plus 200, plus 205, and I think you can get plus 220 some in certain places. One of the things I did want to say before I go is since this thing started in 2022, there's been 12 series and the home team's only won 4 of them. So the road team's won 8 of 12. So take that for what it's worth. But I think that is significant. I don't think that the home advantage is as great as some people may think, Gil.
Okay, so let me clarify then for people who are like, wait, what is he doing? So you're on the over in the Tigers-Guardians game 1 today, which starts in a little over 2 hours. You have a Boston Red Sox plus a run and a half, Reds plus a run and a half parlay. And are you also doing the Reds plus 1.5 as a straight bet as well?
Reds straight bet plus 1.5, Boston straight bet to win. So, I think that's a pretty good day.
Mark Borchard, everybody, at BaseWinner. BaseWinner.com is where you can check him out. His BetUS show. Still running through the postseason, right?
Thanks, Gil. Yeah, all till the final pitch, as they say, right?
There you go. Survivor, next on A Numbers Game.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons, it's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim is the only thing like it in the world.
Join the guru, John Hansen, at the intersection of prop betting and fantasy sports on Prop Points, only on VSiN.
And shout out to Elijah Moore as well. Oftentimes he's Elijah less. Keep in mind, Sean Payton is evil for fantasy football.
John and his guests will help you find the connection between the two and give you his expert advice on how to capitalize when a number is too good to pass up. Prop Points, weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on VSiN, the sports betting network.
VSiN, the sports betting network.
The season may have started, but you can still jump into the VSiN Average Joe contest, sponsored by Edge Boost. Each week you make 7 picks, NFL or college, and the best score of the week wins $500. Have an Edge Boost account already? That's $1,000. If you have that every week. And if that's not enough, there are quarterly prizes too, airfare to Las Vegas and a 2 free night stay at Circa Resort, and your chance to be on a VSiN show, free to play, and you can enter anytime at vsin.com/Joe. How about that? You feel like I just read that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's always good to remind people, though, Gil.
That was good. We get tweets at Beating the Book. This is from Jesse Welch. Good news, Kelly. I took Darren Waller for Comeback Player of the Year. Therefore, Danny Dimes will for sure win it. Maybe we'll get a Waller rap song about why he should win. Darren Waller, for those who missed it, I didn't talk about this in the first segment, scored not once but twice for the Dolphins yesterday. Darren Waller, who had retired from the National Football League until the Giants decided they'd trade him this offseason. They did so, and he needed his body. He was activated beginning of the year in August, but he needed a few weeks for his body to really acclimate. So he was inactive, actually, technically the last few weeks of the last couple weeks of the first couple weeks of the season, and he played last night 2 touchdowns. Dukes.
We were joking about what those 2 touchdown odds would be.
Yeah.
This first came back, like that had to have been long.
Dukes in the PNW. One of my favorite mornings of a numbers game. Gil, all year, especially with the Astros under 87.5 and the Mets not making the playoffs at 5-1 cashing. 8 games in 48 hours leading into the division series. Giddy up. Speaking of the Mets not cashing at 5-1, I was trying to, poor Parles, Mets fan. The Mets.
Poor Mets fans always.
Once again, just to recap the Mets season, they started out 45-24. 45-24. Finished 38-55. Ended up in a tie with Cincinnati. Whoops, Cincinnati beat them 4 of 6. That's the end of that. Michelin. Do you guys like the MLB playoff format? These teams play 162 games, and if you aren't a top 3 team in your league, you play a 3-game series to determine your whole season. Feels like the first series should be at least 5 games. Yeah, in a perfect world, you're right, it should be, but, baseball has always been like the cruelest of all sports, right? Used to be game 163, where you play 162, and then it's all determined in 1 game. So, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want me to answer. I'll leave that up to real baseball fans.
It is what it is.
I would be one of those guys that's like, give me a shorter regular season and longer playoffs, but...
Yes.
Like you said, they've always done it their way. I'm not going to sit here and complain.
What's my line every year? It is the most incongruent of all sports between regular season and playoffs for that reason. Canats. G. Calfano, take it from a gillionaire with bad back problems. TikTok self-back stretches and get on an inversion table. Massage on air would be classic, a la poker style. Respect the processes in a pool, ATS pool, pays season long and weekly. 3-way tie going into Monday Night Football last night at 10-4, 75 people in his league. They love picking favorites. Miami minus 2.5. I knew we'd all pick it, so I took a gamble and switched my pick to Cincy. Thoughts? Respect, he said. Well, I understand what you were doing.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Respect the strategy.
In theory, I respect your strategy. Jed O'Connor, Jake Browning, woof. Can't possibly think about rolling him out for a 3rd straight week, can they?
They're in a pickle, man.
They're in a pickle.
We talked about it when Burrow went down because we talk about this franchise always as being a cheap franchise, but then they spent the money this offseason to have this team ready to go. I don't really know what they're going to do. Because all the reports have been they're sticking with Browning. They are not considering bringing anybody else in. I'm wondering if that starts to change, though.
Brett Rippon is their backup currently. But the Bengals are the Bengals. They don't make moves that dramatically.
Let's put it this way. I bet you Rippon gets a shot before they bring somebody else in.
The league feels as if Russell Wilson will become available via trade.
Yeah.
That's the league. By the way, tennis play. Can I give a tennis play real quick?
For sure.
It already started. Never mind.
Well, what do you got? Maybe people want to get in a lot live.
For VSiN.com/pro for subscribers, they had this. I'm on Marie Buskova as a big dog against the adorable Jasmine Paolini. So we'll see. Early.
See, that's on serve. Paolini up 1.
Love.
Nothing.
Yeah,
One love.
Just started. Sorry about
Plus
that.
175 on Buskova.
Sorry about that, guys. We're talking baseball and Survivor. Are you ready to do it? Ready to talk Survivor?
Show.
Let's do it. Survivor. Thanks, B. Week 5 Survivor considerations. Here we go. This is what we do every week. This is our most popular segment on YouTube at VSiN with Survivor. We have been pitch perfect so far on this through 4 weeks. Every group from which I have selected where my entries would ultimately land has gone on to advance. And from the group that I am too scared or I'm not considering of the big favorites, we have had teams get bounced. So it's been pitch perfect so far. We shall see, though, because carnage is coming at some point. Though, once again, let me just repeat, through 4 weeks, I don't want anybody using that word because it is a record low, only 33.73% of Circa Survivor entries has been eliminated, and that is probably reflective of survivor pools all around the country, including those in your neighborhood. So, week 5, when looking ahead, this was always the week that was going to be the first tough one. There are only 5 favorites of above 4.5 points, I believe it is. Maybe even above 4 points at this point. So we are going to focus on the top 5, the 5 biggest favorites on the board heading into week 5 as we sit here on a Tuesday morning. Here are, of the 5, there are 2 that I will not be playing, and 3 from which I will divvy up my 6 survivor entries. The 2 that I will not be playing of the big favorites, let us begin with the Indianapolis Colts. The Indianapolis Colts are 7-point favorites at home versus the Las Vegas Raiders. They are available, though, week 8 at home against the Titans. Only 3 weeks away. So it's not like too far in the distance. And you do want to sort of be cognizant of where a more natural spot would be to play each and every team. That's really part and parcel with this game. Future value is what matters. Maybe not above all, but it is absolutely prime in this endeavor. So I'm going to hold off on playing the Colts because I think the Raiders are a feistier team than the Titans. So no play for me on the Colts, despite them being a big favorite.
This is going to be an interesting week because I think this is the first week, Gil, where me and you are going to, it's not disagreements, but the pass, right, that we've taken, it's going to end up differing. I think Colts will be at least one of my plays this week. I have 2 in Circa.
Okay. The second one that I will not be playing of the big favorites this week is the Detroit Lions. Lions, once again, this comes up pretty much every week. By the way, it's no longer 8.5. It's up to 10.
Yeah.
Up to 10 on the Lions at the Bengals. Bengals will be on short rest. Obviously, they played last night. But with the Lions, now the Lions are a Thanksgiving and Christmas quirk for those who play in Circa Survivor. You need to know that. Not saying you're going to on Thanksgiving. You might on Christmas. Maybe not that either, but just so you know that it's there. But there are more natural spots to play the Lions than at the Bengals, as bad as the Bengals looked last night. Week 9, maybe you like them against the Vikings at home. But certainly, Week 12 at home versus the Giants. Week 14 at home versus the Cowboys. Now, keep in mind, the Week 12 home versus the Giants is right before the Thanksgiving game. So some people might be scared away by that. Oh, it might be a look ahead to the Thanksgiving game against the Packers. So maybe you do like the Bengals. Listen, I don't think you're wrong if you play the Colts. I don't think you're wrong if you play the Lions. I'm just telling you, I think mine are going to come from the next 3 teams.
Yeah, Lions, same for me. I'm saving them completely. I think if you just want to have options on the holidays, right? Yeah. And so that if you're in Circa, that's what I'd be doing. If you're not in Circa, though, I think it might be a different story.
By the way, could we redo our imaging? Kelly's 95 pounds lighter, and I'm like 15 pounds lighter. Can we look like fatties over there?
Yeah, we'll see what that changes.
Do better. Yeah. All right. Here are the 3 teams from which my Circa Survivor plays will be divvied up. The Rams. This might surprise some people.
Surprise me a little bit.
Rams are 5.5-point favorites now on Thursday Night Football. Short week against the Niners. There are a couple more spots to play them. Week 9 at home against the Saints. Week 13 at Carolina, for instance. But I got 6 entries. I might use 1 on the Rams.
Honestly, I'm kind of glad you brought this up because I really wasn't considering it before until I saw you were, and I was like, this kind of makes sense.
I just think they're demonstrably better, as I said yesterday.
You're catching the Niners, and you're catching them at a good time,
maybe,
right?
And maybe it's either going to be a banged-up Purdy or a banged-up Jones starting for the Niners. So the Rams are a consideration for me. Secondly, we'll sort of crescendo, Cardinals are the most natural spot team this week. Just like the Seahawks were 2 weeks ago, just like the Texans were last week. To me, the Cardinals are the most organic play this week because there is no other natural spot to play them. It is this week. It is home against the Titans. They're 8.5-point favorites. You're still getting Brian Callahan, as far as we know, as the coach of the Titans. I do think I will have at least 2 entries on the Cardinals. And then it's the Bills. For those who have not used the Bills, and I understand you might have this past week, maybe used them the week before, I have always had the in my 6, play the Bills twice, play the Bills twice, play the Bills twice in 3 consecutive weeks. So I will have my remaining 2 that are available to me on the Bills as 7.5-point favorites versus the Patriots. I'm not going to mess around with them on the road later in the year. So that, to me, is the divvy up. No Colts and Lions, but my 6 will be divvied up between the Rams, the Cardinals, and the Bills, with the emphasis on the Cardinals and the Bills. Cardinals being, again, the most natural play of the week from a future value or a lack of future value standpoint.
So